From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
One more corner pocket.
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hujavandi.
And Corey Clark.
What is up, everybody? It is Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Coming up on today's show, observations from Tuesday's practice with Corey Clark and myself, Aslan Hujavandi. Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill in Tallahassee, Florida. Daily lunch specials from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Monday through Friday for only $8.99. On Wednesdays, 5-piece chicken wings and French fries. The best chicken wings in town. Most people would say that have had chicken wings in town. Only $8.99 from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. Go check it out over at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. And don't forget, tomorrow, on Thursday, it is bingo night. So get over there, and there's multiple rounds, cash up for grabs. That's awesome. Do that. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, cptallybar.com is a website. QR code, hit it, live it,
Hey,
breathe it.
tell people when it closes, Aslan. I think that's a selling point we don't hit enough.
You would know better than I would. Daily, 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. Golly,
Yep.
That poor air conditioning unit doesn't even get a break.
No, it does not. But that's the beauty of Corner Pocket. It's got good food. It's a real restaurant. But also, if you're looking if for whatever reason you're out late on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, like all places are open late on the weekend, this place rolls till 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. I'm just throwing that out there, gang. I'm just throwing that out there. It's a really cool place. A little late. You could go get dinner somewhere else. You'd be dumb to. But this is a late night place after that. You have a party. You want to go somewhere else afterwards. A little after party. Corner Pocket.
VitaminEnergy.com, promo code WARCHAMP, BOGO, B-O-G-O. Buy one, get one free over at VitaminEnergy.com with that promo code. So many different flavors, so many different things it can do for you. Gives you energy, promotes a positive mood if you're taking the Vitamin Energy Mood Plus. 7 hours of energy, packed with vitamins. Man, what do we got in this one, Corey? We got chamomile flower extract. We got lemon balm extract. We got passion flower extract, rhodolia, rosea root extract, valerian root extract, and some 5-hydroxy-L-tryptophan just to be on the safe side. This is going to make me feel really good on my Wednesday, Corey. Things are looking up over here now that I've had my 5-hour energy shot. The Mood Plus, Tropical Berry, it's delicious. They got the Sport Plus. They've got the Vitamin D 100% Burner Plus, which I think the burner stuff, Corey, and man, got a good sweat on. Like I was Corey Clark. Got a good lather on. Good sweat.
Oh, nice.
Good.
Okay.
Felt real good. Come out to the Jeff Cameron golf tournament, or the Warchant golf tournament. But I'm gonna throw some of these, I think, in the goodie bags, Corey. I think I'm gonna put like a Vitamin Energy maybe in the gift bags of people. Give them a little shot. Tell them to shake it and take it.
That's a good
VitaminEnergy.com.
idea. Lord knows we have enough. Yeah, we should do that.
Speak for yourself. It's going down my gullet, Corey. So.
Well, right, mine too, but I'm still saying, like, by the way, the Mood, I took the Mood on Tuesday, and I only screamed at Brady once.
Nice.
So it's working, folks. The thing works. It's for real. But I feel like I want to give it a little taste to the people. We're not giving the whole thing away. Obviously, we want people to buy it for themselves. But once you get a taste of it and you see what it does for your golf game, or you see what it does for your mood or your sweat glands, that's when you're really it's gonna take off, and you're gonna want to be a Vitamin Energy guy like Aslan and I.
Yeah. VitaminEnergy.com. Warchant BOGO, B-O-G-O. By the way, I think you might have gotten corrected about this on headlines, which I'm in the boat with you as well, but people in the comment section were letting us know. So apparently Jarian Jones is J-Dub.
Yeah.
Because it's 2 J's, so it's double J.
Yep, that's what Shanna texted me on Tuesday.
Immediately, huh?
Immediately, as soon as she saw it, she's like, I'm pretty sure it's because it's 2 J's, which is fine, but then wouldn't it be Dub J? You call them, like, you don't double J, right? You wouldn't say J double.
I don't want to argue with the people on YouTube.
Okay, I don't like it. I don't like it. We can do better than that. We can call him Jar Jar. There's a lot of other Jar Jar picks. How about Jar Jar picks? And he had one on Tuesday. So there we go. We got a new nickname, and it's not J-Dub. I want to hear Adam Fuller call him Jar Jar picks.
I love it. I wish you were in front of me right now. I'd hug you. It's amazing. Fantastic. You did have a pick. Shout out to Zaria Thomas. He listened to the Monday Smash. Ira was asking me, he's like, what do you think about Zaria so far this spring? I'm like, you know what? a little bit underwhelmed. Haven't seen a lot from him. Haven't seen a lot of playmaking going on. But the coolest thing to me was I thought he probably had his best day of practice, like a singular day in quite some time. He caught, I think, a tip pass. Was it on 7-on-7 or 11-on-11?
His was 7-on-7. I have to go back and look. I think his was on 7-on-7, but I don't think it was tipped. I think he just he turned around and caught it. Jar Jar Picks had one, but his was tipped. Okay. His was deflected.
Well, but the cool thing was anecdotally, like we were waiting for Coach Norvell after practice, and most guys are grabbing their helmet and stuff after listening to the post practice speech from Coach and like milling off the field and going back to the locker room to shower up and everything. And after having a really good day at practice, like Azaria was still getting work in on the side by himself, like just shadow covering, routes and stuff. So I was like, all right, look at that, man. I had a really good day, but he's still working and grinding hard. So Azaria, I would say, would be my MVP probably from practice on Tuesday. Who stood out to you, Corey?
Yeah, that's a good one. And it wasn't. I just looked it up. It was 7-on-7. It was off a pass from Brock Glenn. It wasn't just because of the interception, though. I thought he had good coverage in 11-on-11. He had a couple other pass breakups or tight coverage that forced incompletions. He just seemed to be. I don't want to say he competed better. He was in better position and he made plays. He made obviously the interception, but he was breaking up passes. He didn't give up much of anything, as far as I can remember. I don't think he gave up anything, and they also didn't do one-on-ones. They didn't. No. For I think at least the first practice I've watched, they didn't do one-on-ones. It was a lot of team stuff. It was a lot of 7-on-7 and 11-on-11. But I thought he had a really good day. Defensively, I did think Jarian Jones had another good day. He had a pick. He also had a couple other pass breakups. I thought the defense as a whole won the day. And then, Jordan Travis threw an interception. It was the one that Jarian got, but it was maybe his best throw of the day. It was rolling right, deuce span coming out of a break, on the run, full sprint run by Jordan Travis, by the way. Just kind of an arm, like slinging it almost sidearm. Great throw right by the sideline, right off Deuce Span's hands and into the arms of Jarian Jones. So, but other than that, that wasn't Jordan Travis's fault. I thought he was fine. I thought he was good. I don't know if you saw the last part of practice because you were walking down there. They did a tempo. They did like I don't know what you'd call it.
They were doing red zone stuff.
Hurry up.
Yeah, they're doing like a.
It wasn't red
thing.
zone. They went all the way down the field.
Oh, okay.
They started at the 20 and went all the way down the field in like a hurry up, final minute type drill. And he was good. He threw the first pass was broken up by Fintrell Cypress on Johnny Wilson. It's a really nice play. But then Johnny came back and had like a 25-yarder across the middle. Then Jordan found C.J. Campbell out of the backfield. Really cool route for about 20. Found Marquiston for 10, and then found Johnny on like a shallow cross, and he ran into the end zone. And that was the only thing really the offense kind of did all day in team. And it was right there again with your starting quarterback. So it's always good to see that he still does that. I thought he had a good afternoon, but he always does.
I didn't think it was their best day of practice on the whole, though.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not panicking or anything. It'll be really interesting to see how they respond on Thursday because they're going to have, I think, 5 days off for Easter. So they'll be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then back at it next Tuesday. So not that they took it easy. I think the fact that they weren't doing one-on-ones, I thought maybe that was a little bit of like Norvell really wanting to put them under a little bit more stress and kind of see how they respond. He was satisfied with it afterwards, but I thought there was something maybe not as crisp overall with the overall operation on the day Tuesday. But we'll see how they bounce back Thursday because I think Thursday is going to be, Jeff Cameron was pointing at it. He's like, with that amount of time off, they're going to go hard on Thursday. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to look.
I'm interested in that too. I think his thought process with that was because of nothing on Saturday. They're not going to have another scrimmage, so they're going to have like 4 or 5 days off. I think they practice on Thursday, and then I don't think practice again until Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, that's why he thinks they're going to really let it all out on that Thursday. We'll see. I liked the structure of the practice. It was a lot of 11-on-11 and 7-on-7. It was a lot of competition, team-oriented competition, and not so much, hey, can you beat the dude in front of you? It's like, hey, how can you perform in the context of the team? And I thought the defense was really good. They're not tackling, so it's hard to know for sure, but other than maybe 1 or 2 runs, and really honestly, the most effective runners on the day were the quarterbacks. But it's also hard to know, right? Because they're not being tackled and they're wearing green. But Jordan had a run that I think probably would have been a touchdown.
But those runs, though, on the whole, not even Jordan's, man, those were well-designed, well-executed, like good reads by the quarterbacks to keep it and run.
Correct. And I will say this. A.J. Duffy looks more athletic than he did a year ago. He looks faster. He looks more explosive. He had a run today where he kind of just tucked it and took off. And he looked like he was running in fast motion almost. Like it just looked like a different guy than last year. And maybe that happens. You get in a weight room for a year, you get stronger, you get faster. Maybe he's cut 0.2 of a second off his 40. I don't know how that works.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, but I feel like, that wouldn't be crazy, right? To go from like a 4.8 to a 4.6. If you're in a weight room and you're developing your calves and your legs and your quads, maybe. Yeah. Guys, write in and tell us. There's probably some speed trainers listening
up there. Yeah.
So I do think that I think he just, and I also thought, and I wrote this for the observations that are on the website. I thought he had his best day or one of his best days, and I thought he was the second best quarterback on the day on the whole.
He had Van Dravius, right?
Yeah, he hit Van Dravius it was a great throw. It was a beautiful throw. It was about, I don't know, he probably threw it 40 yards in the air, but it was a perfect down the sideline, dropped it right into the breadbasket to Van Dravius Jacobs for a 70-yard touchdown. But before everybody gets too excited, it was against a walk-on DB. So Van Dravius is supposed to do that against walk-on DBs, but he sprinted right by him. The more important aspect to me, because I think we kind of know what Van Dravius can bring, is that Duffy made that read in a really good throw. I just thought he made a really good throw. That was good to see. He dropped it right in there. Had a couple nice throws. Brought Glenn an up and down day, mostly down in my opinion. And then Tate Rodemaker, same thing. Just didn't hit a lot of big plays. Missed. I specifically remember him missing like Preston Daniel wide open over the middle. Just a bad throw. Good read. He's wide open. He just made a bad throw, which happens. But I thought Jordan and AJ were the best of the bunch on Tuesday. But that all fluctuates, right? 13's always the best.
Yes.
And I feel like those other three kind of take turns having really good days. And overall, on the whole, I still think 18 is the solid number 2 after what was that, the 10th practice of the spring?
Yes, correct.
I still think he's solid, although I haven't seen the scrimmages. I think he's the solid number 2. But it's really nice. It was really nice to see and very important to see A.J. Duffy have a nice practice on Tuesday.
On the whole, though, I think defense won the day.
Yeah.
We had to grade it out that way.
Absolutely. Because other than that last drive I was talking about with Travis at the end where he drove him down the field, didn't hit any big plays really. I think Portier made like a 30-yard catch down the sideline, but then Jarian Jones and Renardo Green were saying he was out of bounds. It was like a leaping Johnny Wilson type catch over Jarian Jones, but then they both said he landed out of bounds. I don't know if he did or not, but other than that, they didn't hit really any big plays at all. Like, and I'm talking about anything over 12 yards. For most of the day. And I do want to add some context in the sense, let's say that each quarterback gets 3 snaps per session, per drill. But a lot of that was like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6. It's not like they just get 1st and 10 and you try to get a first down. They are working specific things. So 3rd and 8's not an easy down to be in. And they would have 3 straight downs of 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 7. So they're working on different things. It's not just, 1st and 10, get a first down and keep going. But that was what was cool to see about the Jordan Travis drive at the end is that's exactly what it was. And they did well. Until the end, I think they were doing 2-point conversions at the end. And he had a couple that almost were caught, but were not.
Did you see who kicked that last field goal before they broke practice? Like they really turned the pressure on. Like everybody, they were throwing water at him. I was joking like they need to have Yak out there with his squirt gun. Did you see it? Or were you?
No, I didn't. I didn't see them kick a field goal. They kicked a field goal right before they broke?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I was turning around watching the Grand Slam from JU and I missed it.
Probably.
Maybe I heard the ping of the bat and I turned around and that's when I missed the field goal.
Yeah. We couldn't see it because we were on the field waiting for Coach to come talk to us. And then, the person, they were absolutely mobbed and huddled around, and you could just see everybody throwing Powerade bottle, just like squirting that thing. I'm like, more, come on, make this uncomfortable. Yeah. I don't know how far away it was, but he drilled it. It was Ryan Fitzgerald. So what
Oh,
that's.
well, why'd you ask me who it was?
Well,
then?
just I was, just
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you were
sparking
legitimately
discussion
asking
on
me.
a podcast with my co-host. Thought maybe
Oh,
do
say
that.
so. I probably should have added that to the observations because in the observations I just talked about. I wrote about the
Kelt dog.
the 2 kicks we saw in special teams,
yeah.
which I saw. I didn't see the first Fitzgerald kick. I saw the second one, and it was gross.
It was.
It reminded me of some from last year's preseason. Straight, like, just didn't hit it well. It wasn't end over end. It barely got 12 feet off the ground. It went left, line drive, knuckleball, grossness. That just needs to stop happening. It just, like, even if you miss it like a real kick. Those are the ones that bother me the most is when it looks like a high school kick. And I'm not, the kid's made 2 game-winning field goals in his career, including the bowl game. So I'm not trying to kill the kid, but I want to see more consistent contact. Just contact. So anyway, he kicks a laser knuckleball line drive that hooks left, shanks it left. And then Keltner comes in and drills 2 of them. And they look like, obviously it matters more than anything if it goes through the 2 posts. But man, to me, it matters almost as much that it looks like a real kick. Like it went high, it was end over end, it landed 3/4 up the net or onto the roof. Like they looked like well struck. And he made both of his. And I don't know if Fitzgerald made his first one, but he definitely missed his second one.
Snaps. Need to get the snaps a little bit better, guys.
And you're talking about the actual offense.
Yes. Yeah, that's my last thing to add, really, from Tuesday.
Yeah, I agree. They're working different guys. Darius got some work there. Casey Roddick has been getting work there. Stickle, the walk-on, has been getting work there. I think
Sapp,
has been getting some work there. And they're not good consistently snapping the ball. They've got to be better about that. One of the sacks they gave up at the end of practice was mainly because Jordan Travis is having to pick up the ball off the ground like he's Jordan Carry-On. And by the time he gets up, Edmonds right on him. Like you've just Atkins talked about that last week, or maybe he talked about during the scrimmage. I don't remember after the scrimmage if he talked about it or it was the last scrimmage, the first scrimmage. But anyway, he was talking about, like, look, it's one thing to do it when it's 3-on-3 or when it's just you're practicing snaps with the quarterback. But when you're having to do it in 11-on-11, knowing that you also have an assignment and you have a really good player you're having to block, it can't be an afterthought to get the snap back there. That's still the number one goal. The snap has to be catchable and by their hip, and they are not doing that very well, and it stagnates a lot of the plays. Like it really does it doesn't even give them a chance a lot of the times. And that defensive line is too good to have your quarterback lose a second and a half because he's looking for the ball on the ground or picking up the ball or having to short hop it and then standing back up and trying to read a defense real quick.
Those observations and much more over at warchant.com. Subscribe. It's $29.99 from this moment until September 1st. Major League Baseball is finally back in full swing. MyBookie is going to be your one-stop shop for all your betting needs. Wide range of betting options, money lines, run lines, totals, futures. MyBookie gives you plenty of ways to bet on your favorite teams and players. You can also take advantage of the new MyBookie Money Bag, which gives you the chance to secure a bet on your favorite team or player at an insanely boosted odds. Sign up at MyBookie using the promo code WARCHANT to secure a first deposit bonus of up to $1,000. It's easy. Deposit $200 and you'll have $300 to play with instantly. Just use that promo code WARCHANT. So if you're a baseball fan looking to add more excitement, which is exciting now, they got this clock. Games are getting done fast. It's awesome. Get over to MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Who you got in the Masters, Corey? Our guy Tiger, he is a 75-1 long shot.
Not him. I'm going with what's Scheffler?
Oh, you want to see a repeat? He's pretty much 7-1. That's the best, or the lowest odds. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler.
And he's really good.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. At the Masters, I think I've found I'm clearly talking out of my butt, folks, but I'm gonna give it a go here. When you're the best player in the world, I feel like you're always in contention at the Masters. It plays well. Like I feel like if you're the number one player in the world, it like rewards greatness. Colin Murray, is it Morikawa?
Yeah.
Like I feel like
26-1.
he's right there. I feel like he's going to be in contention. Scheffler's going to be in contention. Davis Duval, he still plays, right?
Let me wrap up the read.
Okay, sorry, folks.
MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Use that promo code WARCHANT. Anyone else from yesteryear you want to recommend to bet from the Masters? David Duval not on the board on this one.
Yeah, I think I called him Davis.
Davis.
It should have been Davis Duval.
Davis Love. Davis Love the third. You're thinking.
That's
about.
who I was thinking of. Davis Love, not the second. Davis Love the third. Who, by the way, apparently, this not that this would surprise many people, is a humongous jerk.
Oh, yeah.
Davis Love the third. I heard it from a guy that I used to work with that went up to him at a golf tournament that we used to cover in my old stomping grounds, and asked him for an interview, and he could not have been ruder. And just completely dismissive. And it's like, man, and what's funny is the guy that was interviewing, he was my boss at the time. He was like 6'3", 280, like an enormous dude. And I told him afterwards, like, why didn't you just kick him? Who is Davis Love? Like, I don't know why, but it just bothers me when you feel like when you have a status in life or a station in life. Davis Love's got to be 5'8", 170. He would get destroyed by this dude, and yet he feels like he's going to sit there and be a bully to him. I don't know. I hate bullies in general. I really hate bullies in that arena or that regard. When you know in real life you wouldn't talk to him like that if you thought there was a chance you could get your face slapped. By the way, going back,
Davis
I
Love's
told you this.
6'3", by the way.
Is he really?
Respect him.
Hey,
Davis Love.
be a big bully then, Davis Love. That's my fault. I don't know why you just come off as a 5'8" guy, but I guess he's 6'3", so that's my fault. I'll shut up because apparently he would whip me. But I thought, we were talking about trying to make it harder on you were talking about how trying to make it harder on the kickers at practice.
Yeah.
Did you not like my idea of the Jared Verse slap?
Tell the people.
And do you think they'd sign on? We've all seen, or I think most of us have seen those clips of like slap fights, which is incredible. I can't, you just stand there, you put your hands by your waist, and you let a grown man slap the bejesus out of you, right in the face, open-handed slap, and then you get to do it to him.
As long as you haven't been knocked out.
As long as you're conscious. And so I thought maybe that would be a really good motivational tool to see if they could handle real pressure. Because, look, man, there's still going to be Florida State kickers, whether they're getting water bottles squirted on them, and guys yelling at them and saying all kinds of stuff. They're going to kick it. That's still not real life pressure. Jared Verse standing there waiting for you. If you miss this kick, you have to stand there and let him slap you. Not punch you. We're not trying to kill anyone. We're not trying to really damage someone or send them to the hospital, but just open-handed slap you in the face as hard as he can. I feel like that's as much pressure as 19-17 in Raleigh. With 22 seconds left.
I like it. Violence from your own team.
Do you think I'm right, or do you think that don't you think that's real pressure? Do you think that's the closest that could mimic a game-winning situation?
Yeah, I guess you're fearing for your safety. Yeah, your well-being probably is up there with like blowing a game in front of 2 million people watching on television. Yeah. Look, man, I'm honest. Like right here, like if Jared Verse was, I'm recording this, laying on my bed, actually, folks, because Brady's commandeered the TV to play MLB The Show, so I'm in my bedroom, and if Jared Verse was right outside the bedroom door, and if I knew I didn't have a good show, or if I made one more screw up and called, Davis Duval, if I made one more mistake, he was going to slap me in the face as hard as he could, I would be petrified. That's real life pressure. And I'm just saying we got to switch it up a little bit with these kids. Okay. Speaking of crazy ideas, how about this from the Plains in Auburn, Alabama? Hugh Freeze saying that, you know what, man, let me play somebody for my spring game. Now, let me give all the money to charity. He was saying everybody would get out of it exactly what they want. If everybody's doing that, let Alabama play Troy. We'll play UAB, vice versa, whoever. I don't care. Alabama State. People will come see that. You're decreasing your injury possibilities by 50%.
Why is that?
I was thinking about that, and I think it's because you're not going against your own team. So there's less,
that's true. I guess that's a good point. It's only 11 Auburn Tigers running at a time on the field, not 22. I was like, that's a really good point. I was like, I don't understand what that means. They're going to run the same amount of plays. Yeah, but I think what you have to keep in mind, and I don't mind that at all. Like if, I don't know, man, UCF or somebody came up here for a spring game, the problem is what is each side trying to get out of it? Because
well, they do it in
Florida
the NFL
State
all the time now, Corey, right? With those joint practices during training camp. I mean, you can do that. Norvell can reach out to Gus Malzahn,
yeah,
like, hey,
but
what do you want?
What the NFL does though is they settle everything on the field during the season. College football's never been about that. So
Right.
UCF might look at a scrimmage against Florida State as the ultimate litmus test. And if we win this scrimmage, if we score more points than they do in this game that doesn't count, that gives us
Recruiting juice or something.
well, and it also gives us, when the season starts, to say, look how good we are. We beat Florida State in April. Meanwhile, Florida State's probably just trying to get through it without injuries. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to play Jordan Travis against a team that's really trying, that might not respect the green jersey? Or is he live? Like, would your quarterbacks be live and take sacks?
No, I'm sure he'd still keep him in green.
Yeah, so if you could do it like the NFL did it, I guess, but I just wouldn't trust for it to be like that. You'd have a lot of these kids that are trying to impress Florida State coaches and playing to the echo of the whistle or more, or they're mad that they didn't get recruited and they're going to talk all kinds of noise, and then you're going to have, I
don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I don't think so. I really think the coaches would keep it under control. Like, hey, man, we're going up here for a reason. Like, let's get real good working against real good guys, and let's, I don't think it'd be that chippy. It would happen, but like, I don't see this as like, hey, man, like you're from, Sumter. You wanted to go play at Florida State. Here's your chance to show those coaches. They're not going to coach it up like that, man. It's going to be, hey, man, let's go.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to be coached like that. I think they're going to feel it. They're just going to feel it inherently in them. Like, I want to show these guys what I can do. These guys are idiots for not recruiting me. And I just think it's in the players themselves. The coaches probably would say that, but it's one thing to say it, but you're a competitor and you're playing the big school and you're trying to prove something. And it's a game that the big school doesn't care about. So and I know we hear that all the time from the SEC when they lose a bowl game. This literally is an exhibition. This is a spring game where it does not count at all. So that's where I'd be a little concerned. But how about this, Aslan? How about UCF? Is there a better example than UCF in the state of Florida? Maybe South Florida. I don't know. FIU. How about FIU plays Auburn and Troy plays Florida State? I feel like there wouldn't be the stakes wouldn't feel as high to Troy if they're playing a spring game at Florida State, maybe. I don't know. Or bring Jacksonville State back, baby. Come and get some. Come see what you missed when Jordan Travis didn't play 2 years ago.
Yeah, Troy would work because it's an easy bus drive, but I don't know if they're going to want to bus from Miami up to Auburn for a spring. But I understand what you're saying. We see these sort of things when FIU would play Miami, especially back in the day.
Yeah.
It's maybe the
R.I.P.
reason why.
Lamar Thomas.
Yeah, right.
That was the end of his
So
broadcasting
what happens when you come across that bridge? See what happens when you come across that bridge.
That was the end of his broadcasting career. Yeah, I don't mind the idea because but I do.
I love it because, like, day 10 was day 10, everybody. Like, we got a really cool anecdotal story out of Mike Norvell before he spoke to us, which you missed out on, Corey. We can tell you about it off the air. Okay. But, like, I think even he felt it. I remember when the SIDs walking off the field, like, you usually don't get that. If it's Clemson week, you guys were treated to a really cool thing there. I'm like, exactly. If they're getting ready for Clemson, he's not going to regale us with like a cool story about, his reasoning for not complaining about being hot during spring football, because when he was in Tulsa, it snowed one day and he had a really good story about it. But yeah, I mean, Tuesday felt a little, blah. And maybe you don't do a full game. Maybe you just have like a joint practice like an NFL team does on a day like this. I mean, you definitely would have gotten a little bit more out of your team. Not that like it's, you have 15 practices. You're not going to be at 110% all of them. Right. It's fine. I'm not nitpicking on that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I would like to see that happen because I think there's a lot more to gain than to lose in those situations. But I understand where you're coming from in terms of like, little brother comes up the big brother and thinks like this is his chance to shine and he can do something. But
I legitimately wonder if by, let's say, 2028, if spring games will just be a thing of the past. And you just won't have them. They're not, the coaches are going to be like, this isn't worth the risk. Look, man, I'm certainly not. I know I have a lot of friends that are coming into town for the spring showcase. It's cool that you get to see something in the stadium, but I'll be honest with you, since Jameis's debut, they've all just felt like they've lacked. They just are. You leave wanting, it's just not all that enjoyable. But how could it be? It's this team going up against each other.
Yeah,
it's a glorified practice.
Watching your kids fight each other, Corey.
Yeah, but it's also
true.
but it's also a practice, and that's what practices are. They're not games. It doesn't count. They aren't taken as seriously as a game is, and so I think coaches might just get out of the they might just want to get out of the spring game business. Period. I don't know. I feel like when now you start your Norvell started it last year with 2-point conversions, and then the second half was a running clock with nothing going on. The year before, Jeff Cameron was calling plays. It just feels literally
respect.
Hey, I love you, JC. He lost though. Him and Gene just didn't have what it took against Staples and is it Andrew Adelson?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so come on, Jeff. We need better than that. But yeah, I don't know what role it has in college football moving forward. And I think the difference is, I hope it stays. I just everything in sports is changing so quickly and so drastically that might be something that they just, I don't know, like Florida's is on a Thursday, Miami's is on a Friday. They just aren't what they used to be. So who knows if they'll be a thing. But what I would like to see maybe, and what the NFL does do, the NFL doesn't have spring practice, period. So
Correct.
Those practices that the Ravens are practicing against the Commanders, they're 2 weeks before the season starts, or they're during the exhibition season. So would you think about doing something like that? Like 10 days into your preseason practice, bringing Troy over?
No way. Then that's real. Then that's high stakes. Then you got high stakes, man. You got your season coming up. Then I think you can use that as like an audition for like, hey, why are we ranked? Where we're ranked, we beat that. I could see that being a little bit more maybe of an issue. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe them calling it a spring showcase. I don't know. Like break it up in like team versus team Travis, or like 4 captains, and you draft like a team and it's like a skills competition. Like maybe that would be something. That'll bring people to the stadium and not leaving wanting more. But I hear what you're saying, man. We really dressed this spring game like it's a big, huge deal, and then everyone shows up and we're like, yeah, that was that. Check out warchant.com for more, everybody.
Yeah, but you can. I mean, look, there have been some moments in spring where you're like, I mean, it does tell a tale. Obviously, Jameis 10 years ago. I should do a story on that. It's the 10-year anniversary of that, right? Wasn't that 13? Yeah, it had to have been.
Yeah.
What the all-time debut. I should do a story on that. That's a 10-year anniversary coming up. Good Lord, am I old. I can't believe it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years, Aslan.
People were saying Jordan one year had a really good spring game, like maybe 19, like when he was a total afterthought. Like, he wasn't being taken seriously within fan or coaching circles. Everyone's like, I think that Travis actually had the best game in the spring. It's like, yeah, but whatever. He's not.
Yeah, really I don't remember that. I remember Mackenzie Milton shining bright 2021 style. And I remember Jared Burse, Jermaine Johnson, like guys like that have had moments. I don't remember what Johnny did last spring game. I know he dropped a pass or two. I don't know if he caught any, but Micah had a tough touchdown run in that game. But you do see the signs of it. It's just like, is Trey Benson going to get? How many carries would you give Trey Benson?
4.
8? 4? Yeah, but the thing is, and that's where football is so different than it was 10, 20 years ago for sure, is Trey Benson probably won't get tackled, like legitimately tackled, 10 times until LSU.
Yeah.
Maybe. He might not feel what it's like to actually be going against defenders trying to tackle him and bring him to the ground more than 10 times in the next 5 months. And then he's going to be on prime time against that team and that defense, not having broken a tackle since the Cheez-It Bowl. And vice versa, LSU hasn't really tackled anyone, certainly not anybody like Trey Benson, since their bowl game. It's just it's a different sport, It's just a different deal. These coaches are smarter, I guess, because why get your starting quarterback hurt like Florida State did 25 years ago in a spring game where he tears his ACL on a sack? Like, it made no sense that one of his own teammates wrecked him for the year. But it ended up opening the door for Chris Winkie, so it all worked out. But Dan Kendra's not happy about it. But either way, like I think they are smarter about it, just like most pitching coaches are smarter about the way they use guys' arms now. So I just wonder, as we move forward, what the spring game will what the spring game will end up being 5 to 10 years from now in college football.
I really wish I saw this before practice. I don't know why I didn't ask Coach Norvell. It didn't even come to my mind. But when we speak to him on Thursday, I'll see what he thinks about it. Otherwise, check out Warchant. Michael Langston was able to catch up with KJ Bolden, a 5-star plus safety out of Buford, Corey's neighbor. So
that's right.
See if Corey can maybe drop a bag off on the doorstep, do his part, help out. So Florida State fishing in some really good waters.
I'll drop a bag all in that locker room. That's Buford High School football, man. You want all those guys. So I'll drop off many bags in that locker room. And Brady said that one of his classmates beat him on a route in the football, because Brady goes to Mill Creek and they actually won the state championship this year in football. And he said their best receiver was in Brady's sports marketing class, and he said he beat him for a touchdown earlier this year. So just throwing that out there, gang.
Sports marketing in high school, that's awesome. What a good school system you got your kid in there, Corey.
Yeah, man, but it's like he needed to be in weight training. Honestly, just for this freshman year, but also he's with a bunch of seniors. Like, it's a senior kind of elective, like, take it easy class, and Brady's rolling in there as a 14-year-old freshman, so probably not fitting in the best, but he gets good grades in it, which, can't say that about geometry. Sweet Moses.
Speaking of not good grades, Florida State, I mean, you were there, so let's just talk about it for a minute or two. 10th straight loss on Tuesday night, this time to Jacksonville. They clawed back, and they fell into an early hole. Grand slam in the first inning for Jacksonville. 5-4 is the final. Give us, I guess, a synopsis what happened.
The bullpen was good. Ryan Dennison started and was not. Link, after the game, was clearly frustrated. Said, we knew our left-handers would be a good matchup. We wanted to get a start out of a guy that was fresh to try to get us to the left-handers. We wanted to get a start out of him. We didn't. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 4 runs. 2 walks at a grand slam, not a great, and then walked and then that was a wrap. Got 2 outs. The bullpen came in and got what'd they get? 25 outs and gave up 1 run. But when you get in a 4-0 hole, when you're on a 9-game losing streak, you've got a very winnable game at home against a pretty good team. Jacksonville's 19-10, but a winnable game. And you go out and immediately give up a grand slam in the first inning. It's like, yep, that's Florida State baseball 2023. And what's crazy, Aslan, is I even asked Link about this after the game. So the 9th inning comes, they're down 5-3. Diamez Ross, who had a nice game, leads off with a sharp single off the Jacksonville closer. And then Titan Kamaka strikes out on 3 pitches just straight in the dirt. Just an awful at bat. No patience, no maturity, but he's a freshman. You deal with these lumps. But I don't think I've ever seen this before. The catcher on the 3rd strike tries to. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, it's a ball in the dirt. So it's a drop. So it's a ball in the dirt. He swings and misses. The catcher tags him on the back, but doesn't realize the ball's not in his glove.
Huh.
So the pitcher then starts pointing. No, the ball's behind you. So then he goes, because he thought he caught it on the short hop. He didn't. He didn't squeeze it. So the ball's behind him. By the time he picks it up to throw down to first, Kamaka's there. So you're like, man, there's a break. They finally got a break. It's 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and Tibbs and Ferrer coming up, down by 2 runs. Tibbs strikes out looking on a fastball. I think it was a little I don't think it was inside. It was inside part of the plate, and he was looking for something else. So your best hitter strikes out. Ferrer then rips a single up the middle, scores a run. Good base running from Kamaka, gets to 3rd. They throw to 3rd, and Ferrer gets to 2nd. So now another really good base running. It's like they're doing the little things. Yeah. They got a great break with Kamaka reaching first on a ball in the dirt on a strikeout, and then Ferrer getting a second, getting a scoring position on the hit. But it ended up not being a great thing because it put first base open with Colton Vincent coming up, and they walked him intentionally to load the bases for Ben Barrett. It was righty on righty, and he had a horrible at bat again, much like Kamaka, just kind of overmatched. Not a good at bat, swung at a ball at his head for strike 3. So all he had to do was kind of put the ball in play there, bases loaded, fly ball ties the game. He strikes out, doesn't put the ball in play. And then Cam Smith comes up, and after having a really good at bat his last at bat, a line drive double down the right field line off a side-arming righty, gets a 3-1 count on this guy, like really spits on some tough sliders. 3-1 pitch, looked like a fastball. It definitely was a fastball. It looked like it was kind of middle, and he just didn't get it. When it left the bat for a second, you thought it was going to be a grand slam. He put a great swing on it, but the kid caught it at the edge of the track. which is just the story of Florida State's baseball season. But the point of all that was, Link was clearly frustrated by Ryan Dennison's start, and then was really kind of frustrated with Cam Smith too. In that spot, 3-1, you're looking for a pitch you can damage.
Yeah, you don't need a home run necessarily, really.
Well, no, but he's like, if you're going to swing 3-1 if you're going to swing at a 3-1 pitch where a walk ties the game, you better square it up and you better win the game with the swing. And he flew out to the track. And so he was not all that pleased with that at bat. Because I thought it was one of his best at bats of the year, to spit on those pitches, get into a hitter's count, take a really aggressive hack, and just barely miss it. Because if he would have gotten it on the barrel, that's one of those that's in over the bus. It was a great swing, and he just missed it. But, 10 in a row. 10 losses in a row, everyone, if you can believe it. If you can believe it, and I can't. It's 10 losses in a row. 13 out of 14. And I looked it up on Tuesday, Aslan. Florida State baseball has never had a losing record. The 44 straight's out the window. They're not going to the NCAA tournament. The quest now is to somehow get to at least 500, so you can say you've never had a losing season. Even in 1948, they went 9-8, gang. They won their last game to get to 9-8. Big win for that crew in 48. And then how are they going to have a winning season? I don't see it. And Link talked after the game about not having Wyatt Crowell, and how obviously it didn't. You wouldn't think it impacted a game on a Tuesday because he wouldn't pitch in that spot anyway, but it impacts the whole pitching staff. It has a domino effect of now this guy has to pitch, and now this guy has to pitch, and he has to step up to this role and this role, and they have not been able to overcome the loss of Wyatt Crowell, and it's clear they haven't been able to do it, and they are awful. They are not a good baseball team, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. Wow. Well, maybe we can be cheered up by some good questions from our subscribers over on warchant.com. Let's rendezvous later and do the Renegade Express for a show tomorrow, Corey. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah. Buddy, I'll be here.
All right, we'll do that. Wednesday, also live recruiting show with myself and Michael Langston, 6 p.m. That's today, so tune into that. Before then, though, Jeff Cameron Show, 1 to 3 o'clock, 93.3 FM, as well as Warchant TV. That's our YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up, please. 5-star rating review, please. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as warchant.com. We'll talk to you then. Have a great one. For Corey, I'm Aslan. It's been Wake Up Warchant, presented by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.